Hello, beautiful community. We'll have quite a few shorter chats in the next few days running up to the election. Let's talk about the immorality of JD Vance. Vance knows what he's doing because he is reflective. And he doesn't, but he mainly does. He doesn't insofar as humans come to believe what is convenient for them to believe. But the question arises, is there any excuse for his political behavior that brings it out that it's better than just being yucky and unlovely? Well, let's try to formulate one. I think it would have to go something like this. An old political order, an old way of doing politics is coming to an end. It's going to come to an end inevitably, and it's good for it to come to an end. And if the available tool with which you help bring about its end is a destructive tool, it's okay to use that tool, because the thing that that tool is meant to bat away is anyway going to and should expire. So that's the excuse for outsourcing your integrity to the dispositional state of the orange wrecking ball. However, that's not going to pass. It's not going to pass because whatever historical transformation we're going through, there is always a question about whether we negotiate each step of it more or less constructively or more or less destructively. And one of the most destructive things you can do, even if it's true that we're coming out of a certain way of doing politics and into another, even if that's true, it still remains the case that whatever cultural or political change we're going through, you don't break the institutional game or ally yourself with somebody who is out to break the institutional game, who is out to say, no, I am going to try to reject or reverse the procedural outcomes of democratic process. You just can't do that. And that is a kind of civic and democratic red line. And it doesn't mean that you can't recover if you cross it as a political actor with integrity. But it's going to be very difficult, because if you're capable of doing that, how could you ever muster enough integrity as a political actor to recover from it? So it's a kind of a non-recoverable flaw, really, which means that this boy is likely a lifelong political entrepreneur. He isn't himself a post-truth populist, he's just allied himself with one. He is someone who still tries to be consistent about his lies, unlike Trump. But when you cross that line, and the only way to ethically come back from it realistically is probably to try your hand and be decent at something that's outside politics. It's a difficult one to come back from politically. And that's just because, and it's a broken record, I'm saying this over and over, but it matters. The make or break problem with Trump, the real problem with Trump, isn't that he is racist, isn't that he is very right-wing or not very right-wing, or that he is profoundly divisive or profoundly offensive or profoundly politically irresponsible. All of these things are objections to Trump that stop short of implicating Trump in being a wrecker of a democratic game in which anything we're trying to do must depend. So these are not the problems that are the make or break problems with Trump. The make or break problem with Trump is that he is a pestilence upon democratic process. He wants to break checks and balances, right? And already now he is making some preemptive moves of justification and accusation in the event that he loses the election. And allying with that is a violation of a kind of sacred democratic space. January 6th was a violation of a physically sacred democratic space. This is a violation of a kind of notional democratic space by JD Vance. And there ain't a way to talk it down. Lots of left.